Are you seeing how Ghislaine Maxwell is trapping Donald Trump in a world of hell? Donald Trump can't even withstand the outmaneuvering tactics by Ghislaine. Remember, this all started last week. You have Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice and FBI. They put out the memo. They said no Epstein files, nothing to see, case closed, or stopping all further investigations into other co-conspirators. Donald Trump then on the weekend says, actually, this was a hoax created by Democrats, by Obama, by Clinton, by James Comey. They created the Epstein file hoax. Immediately, you have Ghislaine Maxwell's influencers and the people who support Ghislaine, who also happen to be MAGA influencers, and some of the people who were at the White House back in February holding up the binder with the Phase 1 Epstein list stuff when Pam Bondi said that she had the Epstein list on her desk. They start saying, well, if Donald Trump is saying that the Epstein files and the Epstein list is a hoax and it's not real and it's created by Democrats or whatever, then Ghislaine should get a retrial, or Ghislaine should be part of it. If there's no one on the list, then there's no list, or if it's a manufactured hoax, whichever theory you want to say, the DOJ's or Trump, you should let her out. That's what they were saying, and this is how Donald Trump has now walked himself into that, because I think Donald Trump recognizes Ghislaine knows where the bodies are buried. Ghislaine knows where the list is. She has the files, and she's letting Donald Trump know again. Yesterday, I think, in my opinion, I'm giving you just my opinion, that she of course knows where the bodies are buried, but follow this a little bit more. So you have the influencers and people who are at the White House. They start making posts about retrial and pardon. You have Epstein's lawyer, former lawyer, Trump's former lawyer, Alan Dershowitz. He starts saying there should be a retrial as well for Ghislaine, or she should get pardoned or resentenced because 20 years in prison is too much. Then you have Ghislaine's family. They come out with a letter that they post in public and they say, hey, Donald, you should honor your deals. And a deal was cut by your former Labor Secretary, Alex Acosta, when he was the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida back in 2007. He made a deal with Epstein, saying there would be a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein, that the feds wouldn't prosecute Epstein, nor would they prosecute co-conspirators. But they ended up prosecuting Ghislaine Maxwell, a co-conspirator. By the way, that non-prosecution agreement in 2007, 2008, entered with Epstein and all of Epstein's potential co-conspirators. One of the things to note about that is that the way it was described and structured was that it would defer prosecution to the state, it said. And the state, who is the state in Florida, who is the Attorney General during most of the relevant time period? Attorney General, you guessed it, Pam Bondi. You see how this is all linked right there? So Ghislaine's family says, honor the non-prosecution agreement deal. That's what they're appealing to the United States Supreme Court, and the reply briefs are going to be filed soon. Ghislaine Maxwell's family and supporters say to the Supreme Court saying, hey, Trump, your crew did this deal. The people who you're friends with, like Acosta, Bondi, they were all involved in this deal. Honor your deals, Donald, so that happens, right? And then yesterday, what happens? I mean, come on, follow the timeline here. And it's pretty obvious, and I'm just giving you my opinion, what goes down. The Wall Street Journal drops a bombshell article, and in their article, they've got their hands on this leather-bound birthday book that Ghislaine Maxwell, hint, 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 prepared for Jeffrey Epstein in 2003 for his 50th birthday party. And all of Epstein's close connections, even people like the Dershowitz guy, and other people in his inner circle, and Trump, and many other kind of rich men, and girls too, men, women, but particularly rich men, would write these kind of lewd birthday letters to Jeffrey Epstein. And so in Donald Trump's letter to Epstein that was published by the Wall Street Journal, and this freaked Donald Trump out, the way it was described was Donald Trump did a doodle of a naked girl on the letter to Epstein for Epstein's 50th birthday. Then there was typed letters or a typed a statement by Trump to Epstein within the kind of doodle of the naked girl. And then Trump signed his name where the pubic region would be of the girl in the doodle that Donald Trump drew. And I believe, and that this was a warning shot that's sent by Ghislaine, maybe not even of her directly, maybe her team, maybe people around her, maybe she previously gave the orders to someone. I'm not sure what she could necessarily kind of coordinate from jail. I don't know if it's a family member, but when I think who could have leaked the Donald Trump secret letter to Epstein in 2003 to the Wall Street Journal, I think it was her or someone close to her sending a warning shot to Donald Trump. The warning shot being, I know where the bodies are buried. I'm just going to throw this one out at first, but I could keep doing this over and over again. In my view, I think her team picked the Wall Street Journal because they knew it was close to Trump, that he couldn't as easily dismiss it as if it was the New York Times or the Washington Post. He could say, oh, fake news, fake news. So if she could get the Wall Street Journal to write about it, Murdoch owns it. And so in Trump's world, it would have more, this is my view of it, it would have more credibility by leaking it to the Wall Street Journal. I'm pretty confident I'm right there, but you never know. So here's what Donald Trump wrote to Epstein. That this was leaked to the Wall Street Journal. But I mean, how many people would have known where this, the Ghislaine Maxwell gift to Epstein is located? So here's what Trump writes. The way it's written is, it's written in like a third party's having a conversation with Trump and Epstein. So the third party voiceover goes, there must be more to life than having everything. Then Donald Trump goes, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. And then Jeffrey Epstein goes, nor will I, since I also know what it is. To which Donald then goes, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. And Jeffrey goes, yes, we do, come to think about it. And Donald goes, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And Jeffrey goes, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. And then Trump goes, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Another wonderful secret. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And then Epstein goes, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. What do you think? Epstein's running a sex trafficking ring of young little girls at this time. What the hell do you think they're... What's your opinion about what you think they're talking about? So what's Donald Trump's defense of this? He goes, I don't doodle. I don't draw anything. So that couldn't have been mine. It's not like I draw photos. This is what Donald Trump's post was. And again, you see how Ghislaine Pam traps Trump, and Trump is flan. I just want you to think about it like this. If Ghislaine can hold stuff like this over Trump's head, what do you think Putin is doing? What do you think Xi Jinping is doing? What do you think? I just want to make that point as well. So then Trump goes to social media. And by the way, remember when Hillary's like, Senator Clinton at the time, or Secretary of State Clinton, she's like, if you can be baited by a tweet, what else do you think Putin's doing to him? So then Trump goes, the Wall Street Journal printed a fake letter, supposedly to Epstein. These are not my words, not the way I talk. Also, I don't draw pictures. I told Rupert Murdoch it was a scam, that he shouldn't print this fake story, but he did. And now I'm going to sue his ass off, and that of his third-rate newspaper. Thank you for your attention to this matter, DJT. Also, you don't do drawings, Donald. All of these, like, Donald's like a big doodler, like he was known for doing drawings. And these drawings have emerged, like, because he would auction them off. And so Donald Trump drew New York City skylines. By the way, he would draw on women's chests. Maybe that was a red flag as well. During the campaign. In Donald Trump's book, Never Give Up, he talks about how it takes me a few minutes to draw something. In my case, it's usually a building or a cityscape or skyscraper, and then sign my name. But it raises thousands of dollars to help the hungry in New York through the food pantries. So he says he draws a lot in his own book. In this article, Growing Up Trump, How Donald Trump's Youthful Encounters with Jews Helped Shape the Man and President He Is Today. This is from 2017. One of his friends, Robert Klein, an accounting major who sat next to him in his accounting class, took notes of Trump doodles. By the way, the Wall Street Journal went very in-depth. They talked about all the other people who contributed to this book, who helped bind the book, the leather-bound company that was involved in this. And so they provided a lot of other substantiation there as well. And when Donald Trump's like, I don't talk like that. You're the guy who talks about because you're rich, you could grab women by their genitals and get away with it. Remember when Donald Trump said that, then he was deposed. This is actually literally the way you sound like that. Here, play this clip.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
So where is this all going? And what's the end game here? I mean, I think Ghislaine is angling for a pardon. Donald Trump, in my views, already given her a golden ticket for a retrial. So let me just evaluate both of those for you right now. Number one, the retrial. Trump giving Ghislaine a golden ticket for her to potentially get her sex trafficking case and her conviction dismissed. Think about it. Donald Trump is saying a few things. Number one, that all the Epstein files are a hoax, that everything Epstein related is a total and complete hoax. So Ghislaine saying if the president who controls the FBI and DOJ, he said he saw the files and it's a hoax, then why am I being prosecuted too? Donald Trump earlier this week fired Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter. Donald Trump, as part of his claim that the Epstein sex trafficking ring is a hoax, blames James Comey for lying about everything Epstein. So, if you're Ghislaine Maxwell, you're going to go into court. What do you think you're going to argue? Whoa. The President of the United States is saying that the lead prosecutor who was just fired, and by the way, so Maureen Comey was the lead prosecutor in the Ghislaine Maxwell sex trafficking case and the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case. And so that's who was fired, Maureen Comey. So Ghislaine Maxwell is going to say the lead prosecutor in my case, Maureen Comey, she was fired, and Trump saying her dad created the hoax to go after me. And so if the President of the United States is supposed to be a position of integrity and honesty, even though it's not, but that's what she's going to argue. And he's saying his own FBI director created the hoax to get me in prison. So of course, I should get a retrial, or I should get the case dismissed. The prosecutor's dad was involved in the hoax, and it's all a hoax according to Donald Trump. Do you see what the argument is going to be? Next, on the issue of the pardon, Donald Trump's chief propagandist, Caroline Levitt, was asked about, are you going to give Ghislaine a pardon? And she refused to say no. Next question. She refused to rule it out. So that's why I think Donald Trump wants to give Ghislaine a pardon in exchange for her silence. And I think Ghislaine is saying, drip, 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 here's what I know. Give me that damn pardon or grant me the retrial. Here's what Donald Trump's chief propagandist, Caroline Levitt, had to say. Here, let's play this clip right here.
Caroline, one more on
Elizabeth,
will the president consider pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell if the Epstein case is a hoax?
Okay, I'll start off with.
I mean, seems pretty clear to me. It seems pretty logical to me. And the other thing that Ghislaine Maxwell is going to argue is that the FBI is tampering with the footage, with video footage and other stuff. And she's going to say, look, the Trump regime, she'll say the administration, but the Trump regime just released video claiming that it was right outside Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell. But it turns out that it was manipulated footage that was missing a minute. But then on further reflection, it was missing 3 minutes. and it may not have even been pointed at Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell. It may have just been at a different prison cell. And it turns out that it was like a hodgepodge of videos melded together on Adobe Premiere, and it wasn't actually the raw video data. This whole thing that she's going to argue now is permeated by fraud and it's a hoax and all of these things, because that's what Trump said. So I think she makes that argument.